everyone who is joining us today. My name is Dr. Erica Liggins, but everyone mostly calls me Dr. Erica. And I have a really special guest with me here today, Dr. Naeema, who is a newly licensed clinical psychologist. She has passed the EPPP, and we are here today to spend a little bit of time talking about her experience with conquering this test, as well as utilizing my coaching services. So Dr. Naeema, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. And I'm excited to dive into this a little bit and learn a little bit more about your experience.
Thank you so much. I'm excited. Like, I'm trying to compose myself for you guys. Trying to keep it professional.
Right.
I want to jump. Yeah, I want to jump.
Yeah, so start off by telling us just a little about you professionally. Like, when did you graduate? What kind of populations do you like to work with? That sort of thing.
So professionally, I graduated in 2015, but I have been practicing with a master's since 2007. And my specialty is autism, ADHD, executive functioning challenges. And newly, since 2019, I have moved into neuropsychology and after that, neurophysiology. So
Wow.
the brain, TBIs, stroke, seizures, children and adults.
Yeah, so all that brain stuff. That's
Yes.
fantastic. And I think, I've been very open about the fact that I struggle with ADHD myself. So being a neurodiverse person, I'm so excited that there's more providers who are taking interest in that and supporting people and helping them to be able to not let it stop them from doing what they want to do in their life. So I'm really excited for all the good work that you already have done and that you will continue to do now that you are licensed, which is fantastic.
I'm excited. Thank you.
Yes. So tell me a little bit about what was your journey like with the EPPP prior to seeking coaching? Like, how many times had you taken it? What was your experience like?
First of all, I think they're all the way disrespectful. I do. Before seeking your coaching, I had taken it 14 times.
Mm-hmm.
I had taken the EPPP 14 times, and over the course of maybe 6 years, 5 or 6 years, a whole lot of money. So at the end, I paid $11,000 for that exam, just for the exam, to sit for the exam, not including all the coaching programs that I have
and study
completed.
Materials, all that stuff. Right.
So one place I was subscribing for $250, $300 a month. I poured a lot of money into passing this exam. And giving up was never an option, period. I knew I needed to pass the exam. Like, what's the point in getting your doctorate if you're not going to sit for your exam?
Absolutely. And outside of the financial aspect of things, the time, the energy, right? That all has an impact on our personal well-being, as well as just ability to have time and energy for other things in our life, right? So the cost was great.
It was great. A lot that I had to push aside with my son. Projects that I had to push aside. Just a lot of time that I did not have to. The biggest part was not being able to spend time with my son. I would tell him, I'm studying, baby. I'm studying. Mommy's studying, baby. So now he's 8, and he's seen everything that I experienced with that exam. He would wake up and I'm studying. Even if it's to go use the bathroom in the middle of the night, I'm studying. When he's going to bed, I'm studying. It was always me studying. If I'm waiting, I have note cards and I'm studying. Like, baby, let me wait. Don't tell me that right now. Let me just get this in my mind, and then I'll come back to you. So a lot of pushing him off. So which was it was hard.
Absolutely. As a parent, it's a never-ending job, right? It takes so much out of you, and it also gives so much. And so being able to have this test done now, I can imagine all the wonderful experiences and things you're going to be able to do with your little boy, because he won't be little forever. So we want to cherish this time. So tell me, after all of the challenges and the money that was spent and the time and energy, what led you to say enough is enough? I need to get help. I need to seek coaching.
I did not understand coach. I did not. I sought coaching from somebody beforehand, and they just didn't keep their appointment.
Oh,
And I found you in the Black psychologist group, and I was like, wait a minute, this young lady passed her exam.
mhm,
Okay, let me look at your website. I looked at your website, and your feed was perfect. When
mhm,
we had our coaching call, I connected with you immediately. I said, she's Black, she understands. Like, it's really different for a Black woman
mhm.
in this process in our profession, period. It's just
Yeah.
different. And I
Mhm.
can't not speak about it.
Absolutely. We know that standardized tests not always standardized for everyone, right?
Right.
And even with the EPPP, the pass rates, the first time attempt pass rates for clinicians of color does tend to be quite lower. And I know as someone who's a person of color who has ADHD, I have never done well on any standardized test until this one. And so I completely understand the pain, the insecurity, just all the feelings around standardized tests, especially as a person of color. I mean, they're challenging for a lot of people, but I think there's extra biases that are just baked in there that we can't ignore and that we have to talk about and acknowledge. So
Right.
thank you for, just being open about that because that was a part of your experience.
Definitely was a part of my experience. And all my life, I have known that I was ADHD, but I never, ever had to get accommodations until this exam.
Mm-hmm. Right. I totally hear that. And, my ADHD definitely informed my entire study journey and process because I could not make it through this experience without acknowledging that and incorporating it into how I approach things. So I always tell people I think what helped me and why my ADHD wasn't a hindrance to me was because I embraced it and I accepted it and I used it to my advantage. And that's
Mhm.
a lot of when you really look at my approach and my, as you know, with my self guided audio program, when I really lay out how I went about it, you can see my ADHD all over it. And I think whether someone has ADHD or not, just having a structured, clear plan
Yes,
helps everyone, whether
absolutely.
you're neurotypical or neurodiverse. Structure and a clear plan, especially for a task that feels so massive like this, is so important, especially when we're trying to balance the rest of our life and work alongside of it. So,
Right. They're
what do
like,
you,
cut back at
right?
work. Like, how? How am I going to cut back at work? Like, how? Right.
Exactly, right? So, what do you think were some of the most helpful things about my coaching approach that ultimately supported you to pass this thing?
Hands down, the approach, your organization of how to manage your studying. So I was doing three days, one subject. So some of the information was getting forgotten. It was getting buried, I would say. It was getting
Yeah.
buried. So your approach, your weekly approach of a structure where I'm touching every single subject
Hmm.
was the best approach.
Yes,
Helping me to
absolutely.
encode and embed that information.
Yes, the in-depth repeated approach. And for those who aren't familiar with my coach, you might hear that and be like, oh my gosh, what? That feels overwhelming. That feels scary. There's a method to the madness. And in my program, you hear how we build up to that. It's
Yeah.
not starting that way. So if you're listening to this and you're like, oh my gosh, that sounds scary, there's a method. So yes, I'm glad that that was helpful to you. Uh, what about some of the things that the coaching address that isn't actually related to just how you study, like around
Definitely
getting prepared?
um your approach helped to solidify and validate the holistic approach into and the importance of visualization, the importance of speaking life over myself and feeling it and being in that moment where I actually passed the exam. That was very beneficial to me.
Absolutely, because just having the right study materials and a plan of when to study isn't enough. You have to know how to get your mindset in the right place, get your family system on board. It really is a wraparound kind of thing. And
Right.
so everything has to be working in harmony for this to all work.
Absolutely. The weekly check-ins also, I definitely will encourage people to pay the extra for the weekly check-ins because the accountability, actually, like
Mhm.
your family, they don't know what you're doing. They don't know what they're supposed to be holding you accountable to. They don't understand your process. They don't understand what you're feeling, your thoughts. The weekly
Mhm.
check-ins to help gather myself and to remind me of where I'm supposed to be. Okay, this is what we said last week, and this is where we are now. How are you doing? Like, really, are you on track? Really?
Right.
That is so important in this process because when you're studying, you're studying alone, and it just helps you to be connected.
Absolutely. With someone who has been through it and who is on the other side.
Mhm.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
someone who actually genuinely wants it for you. So I knew that you wanted it for me.
Yes. When
And
every
that's so
time one
much
of my
different.
coaches pass, I feel like I passed too, again, all over again.
It's so rewarding, I bet.
And you said it's different than what were you
So
gonna say?
other companies that, they want you to spend money. They want you to just subscribe to this and just use this method. Just use the tools that we provide you with. But you definitely you're in it, your heart is in it. It makes a
Mhm.
difference when someone cares versus someone who cares about your money.
Yeah.
Or you perceive it as them just caring about your money because they're just not present.
Right. And that was something that was really important to me when I got into coaching, that I wanted to make sure it was affordable and accessible, because I know that had I not figured out this master plan of how to attack this thing with all the challenges and deficits and things that I had going on, I would have been the person that couldn't afford to do coaching.
Mhm.
So I just said to myself, how can I structure this in a way that people can access what I'm providing and be able to utilize it, and we not see the same type of discrepancies and people being marginalized and left out of being able to attain that extra support because of lack of resources.
Right.
So thank you for mentioning that. This is a passion project for me, and I just want everyone to be able to pass and go on and do what they want to do in their life. I personally now own my own private practice, and I'm so grateful every day to be where I am. And I'm so happy that now you have crossed over to the promised land as well. And I want everyone who put in that sweat equity, who did all those years of studying and all that sacrifice, to be able to reap what they sowed, right?
Right. Right.
And so I appreciate you so much for sharing your experience. For anyone who's watching this and who's interested in coaching, please look at my website. Look at the self-guided coaching program that I have that includes several hours of literally the exact plan of what I did. I lay it out for you so that you don't have to figure this all out. And then if you want a little extra support, you want me to stay on top of you, you can seek personal coaching as well for those weekly or bi-weekly check-ins. So thank you again, Dr. Naeema. I'm so happy for you. I'm so excited for you. I can't wait to see all the amazing things that you're going to do, because we have talked a lot about all of your dreams, and I know they're all going to come true.
I'm
So
super excited.
congratulations again.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wonderful. Take care.